So this is my second video assignment. First for the warm-up, I'm going to start off with a general warm-up exercise or activity. I started with jump rope and I did this for about 3 minutes. Um, for some reason, I was not doing very good with my jump roping today, but you get the idea. And so for this warm up, it's really good because it gets the blood flow and the heart rate pumping, which is the purpose of a warm up. Um, so a warm up is almost universally accepted as a integral part of any training session or competition. Essentially, the goal is to prepare the athlete mentally and physically for exercise and competition. A well designed warm up can confer a number of physiological responses that can potentially increase subsequent performance. These can be divided into temperature related effects and non temperature related effects. The temperature related effects include a increase in muscular temperature and the disruption of transient connective tissue bonds, while the non-temperature effects are related to increasing blood flow to muscles and an elevation of baseline oxygen consumption and post-activation potentiation. Warm-up effects are best elicited via a active type of warm-up rather than a passive type of warm-up. And a jumping rope is a great example of a active warm-up. And the positive effects on performing this can include a lot of things. So, next, for my second activity in my general warm up, I'm doing jumping jacks. I am doing 50 jumping jacks, and this is also a great activity to include in your warm up because it's a whole body activation. And back to what I was saying, that faster muscle contractions and relaxations of both the agonist and antagonist muscles are results of warm ups. It also can help improve the rate of force development and reaction time. So, next after this, I'm going to do a side shuffle. I went for about 20 shuffles on each leg. And for the side shuffle, you want to try to stay low to the ground and have pretty big side steps. And then you can take a couple of seconds of rest in between each one. And then I go for my second set of side shuffles. And this is great to increase blood flow to the active muscles. And this is also a good exercise to increase psychological preparedness for performance. So, this could be a great warm up that if I want to try to have something that's a little bit more sports specific to what I'm doing, this would be a great warm up for sports like football, track, soccer, something that's active and requires some sort of movement. So now I'm in my specific warm up exercise activity. So what I'm doing right now is called leg swings, and I did 20 each leg for side to side. So I'm doing 20 on my right leg and then 20 on my left leg side to side. And this is one of the best exercises. This really helps to open up the hip flexors. And then I'm also using some sort of stationary wall or pole or object to hold myself up to make sure I don't fall, just so I can make sure I have great balance while doing this. And then I do the other side, and then soon I'm going to turn to side, and I'm just going to do forward and backwards. And then I also do 20 on each side for each leg. And these are great again for opening up the hip flexors and increasing blood flow to the area, which is always the purpose of doing a warm-up. Then I switch to the other side. And this specific warm-up period incorporates movements similar to the movements of the athlete sport. Since I'm not doing a sport right now, this is a pretty specific warm-up for someone for a lot of sports. So I tried to make this as variable as possible. So then after I finish my leg swings, I'm going to do the knee pull to chest or pull knee to chest. And this is a great exercise to have a good stretch in your hamstring. And this also helps increase the blood flow. And with this, you gently pull one knee up to your chest until you feel a stretch in your lower back. You bring the knee as close to your chest as comfortably possible. Keep the opposite leg relaxed and in a comfortable position. And now I'm going to do arm swings. Arm swings are a great dynamic stretching exercise that engages the muscles of the upper body. This exercise warms up and stretches the shoulders, arms, chest, and upper back, and prepares the muscles, tendons, and joints for a workout. This exercise also gives you a great cardio boost and increases your flexibility. An arm swing in human walking is a natural motion where each arm swings in the motion of the opposite leg. So this is a pretty natural thing for a lot of people. So this can be used for a wide variety of people. This is good for older adults and younger kids. This is a great exercise for if you're doing a lot of plyometric drills, which I am in this exercise program. Then after this, I do side shuffles with arm swings. And this is a great exercise as well. This is a overall warm-up. The side shuffle is an agility exercise that targets the glutes, the hips, the thighs, and the calves. Performing this exercise is a great way to strengthen your lower body while adding cardio into your existing workout program. This is a lateral side shuffle. You extend, to perform this, you extend one leg to the side of your body and shuffle the other leg towards it. It's a good idea to keep your chest up and your feet straight as you continue shuffling for several seconds. And down here, you can take a couple of seconds to rest in between each one because these are pretty cardio heavy and you need a little bit of endurance. And then you can repeat the exercise in the opposite direction. And I'm going to rest and I'm going to do a little bit more. The side shuffle can be performed as part of a dynamic warm up to raise your heart rate, warm up the body, and improve your flexibility. It can also help strengthen your hip flexors and all major muscles in your thigh and leg. And this is a great workout for vicious movements. And this also can help increase psychological preparedness for competition. So now I am in my main program segment. So my first exercise was a 50-yard sprint. So I sprinted down. I'm going to take about 30 seconds to relax, and then I'm going to sprint again 50 yards. And these are just a great endurance exercise. I'm not that fast, but maybe I'll get there. And yeah, that was a good 50-yard sprint. And you can do about 2 sets of 3. And then the next exercise that I listed was a 50-yard sprint and with also a band with a weight on the end. So think of this like a sled. I did not have a band with a weight on the end available to me, so I just pretended and I used a jump rope to simulate a band around my hips, and then the handles, we can pretend that those are weights and I'm dragging them, but I didn't have that, so we could just pretend that that's what that is. So this is also a 50-yard sprint. Oh, I keep saying yard. I mean to say meter sprint. And I'm going to run back. And you can have about 20 to 30 seconds rest if you want to use this for endurance. Then my third 30-meter or 50-meter sprint is a human resisted. So the lady with me is just going to push against me and she's going to provide manual resistance. I think this is really fun because she's backwards and she's scared. But yeah, this is a great exercise for resistance training. Next, I am going to do open agility drills with cones. I am going to start off with a Z drill. So I didn't have any cones, but I'm going to just mentally note where the Z is. But if I were to actually do this, I would have cones with me. And so then this first one, I just did a regular sprint. And then I'm going to walk back and catch my breath and then start again. So I'm doing the same sprinting. I would do probably 2 or 3 sets of this, and I would sprint at full speed and capacity. And this is a great exercise for change in direction. And then I'm going back to do another one. The next one that I do a back pedal. So this is my second variation. And for this drill, it is intended as a beginning level change of direction drill to develop proficiency in the patterns of side shuffling, acceleration out of a change of acceleration out of a change of direction, and deceleration into a change of direction. So usually you would have 4 cones doing this drill. I would have 1 cone where I'm starting, the second cone where I'm changing direction for the first time, then you would run across, and I would have the third cone where I'm changing direction for the second time, and then the fourth cone would be at the very end, and it would stimulate a Z pattern. So I had a little break, and then I'm backpedaling again and focusing on a quick change of direction. I'm trying to drive my heels backwards, and then once I get here, we pretend there's a cone there, and I would backpedal again. And same thing for this one, I would do 3 sets. And then for the last one, I chose to do a side shuffle. And then this drill can be modified to run the Z formation in any way. You could also run it in reverse. You can require them to backpedal, which I just did. You can add another basic movement pattern that is important in the beginning stages of change of direction development. Throughout the movement, one should evaluate the ability to control the trunk effectivity during changes of direction, as well as effective and efficient developments of force during declarations and acceleration. So now you can see me walking back, pretty tired at this point. And so now I have my Y-shaped agility drill. So for the first one, I am moving in the direction the same as the stimulus. So whichever direction she points in, when I get to the top of the Y, I'm going to run in. And we'll also pretend that I have cones here too. So I'm pretending that that dash where I'm going to stop at is a cone. And then we're going to pretend that the 20 right here is a cone, and then over here. And for this one, for my second one, I moved in the direction opposite of the stimulus. So this is like a great test of speed and cognitive respond. And for this one, you start the cone 10 yards or 9 meters away from a person who is acted as a stimulus director. So you're pretty close, but not that close. Close enough to make a decision on where to go. And so I'm going to go back and take a little break again. Then I'm going to backpedal, and then once I get to the 20, I'm going to turn around and respond to where the stimulus is pointing me to go. This is good. This is a good cognitive response test because I am not able to see the stimulus until I turn around when I get to the 20-yard line. So again, I am backpedaling all the way until the 20, and then I turn around, see which direction she points in, and I sprint to that side. Again, I'm not very fast in sprinting, but I'm trying. So next, I am doing a straight arm hand walk with side planks. So again, I am now on my agility ladder upper body hand quickness drills. So first I'm doing straight arm side walking planks. In between these, you can take a rest. I'd say it's best to do 3 sets of these, and then I think there's about 12 boxes or so. The wall was in my way a little bit, but that's okay. I usually would have my butt a little lower, but I didn't really have a lot of room. So then I did my second set, or no, I'm still doing this set with the straight arms and still rest about 30 seconds. So with this, my butt needs to be low, hands straight, but I am a little bit constricted with the space. These are a hard one, but they're a really good exercise. And then I'm going to do one more set. I'm going to build up the courage. And so I'm going to get right back down. I'm going to flex my feet, keep my butt down, straight arms. And then I am done with this one. So then for my second agility ladder upper body hand quickness drill, I am doing straight arms side walking plank with a band on my ankles. So the band is going to be right on my ankles. It's the same exercise that I was doing before, just now with the band. My butt, it needs to be low, but don't have a lot of room. My hands stay straight, pushing through my shoulders. And I'm going to take about a 30-second break again. I'm going to waddle right back to the start. And I'm going to go back down for a plank after I am done resting. And with this one, the reason why it's a little bit harder because I can't bring my ankles all the way together because I have to keep pushing that band apart. So this causes me to take pretty big steps. You see, as I'm walking back, I have pretty big steps because I can't walk too close or else the band will fall. And that will defeat the purpose of having a band. So the reason I have this band is so I can push outwards while also engaging my core and my arms. But this is a great upper body exercise because now it's causing me to engage my core a lot more. So with my third set, I am going to do straight arm side walking planks with bands on my wrists. So I'm going to put it on my wrist right now and show you where it should be placed. It shouldn't be too high. It should not be close to the elbows at all. And I should also, whenever I am using a band, I should make sure that the band is spread pretty wide so that the band doesn't roll up or down my arm whenever I'm doing these exercises. So with this, I'm still going to keep my ankles flexed, and I'm going to keep my butt down, and I'm going to push through the floor with my shoulders, and I am going to have about a 30-second break again in between these exercises. And some of these cues for these can be to um, try to spread my fingers out to try to give myself a little bit more balance. Keep a neutral neck and spine. Squeeze my glutes to tighten my abdominals. And that'll be it for this exercise. So next I have my agility ladder in the center. I am going to be doing bear crawls. So first, these are just regular bear crawls. I'm keeping one foot in a square and one hand in a square at all times. Then again, I'm having a 30-second break. And this exercise should work out the shoulders, primarily the deltoids, also the chest and back, and the glutes, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, and the core. This is a great overall exercise. Bear crawls are a great workout for an all-in-one exercise that works all of the major muscle groups in unison and provides a really strong core challenge. Adding bear crawls to your training is a sure way to build your strength and power while boosting your metabolism to fire up your cardio fitness. This could be used for weight loss. It's also a great exercise for building your forearms. But a bear crawl is a great body weight mobility exercise that uses strength in the shoulders, the quads, the abdominal muscles. And so my next one that I'm doing is the walking bear crawl. And that's what I just did in this set. So it's the same as a regular bear crawl. I'm just making sure that I am stepping into the squares of the agility ladder. And I'm going to again take around a 30-second break in between each of these exercises. So once I get started, I am going to place my hands on the floor. I'm going to crawl in between each of the openings of the agility ladder and then march my legs up to meet my hands. And I should be forming a pike position. So I'm going from a pike position to a plank position to a pike position to a plank position. My last variation of a bear crawl, I'm going to do a bear crawl with the band on my knees. So you see I'm putting the band on my knees right now. I want it above my knees and not below my knees. If it were below my knees, then I would not have proper weight distribution and it wouldn't work out what I want it to work out as best as it could as if it was in this position. So I came close to show you where the band is. supposed to be, and I'm making sure it's straight because before it was a little bit curled up and I don't want it to snap up on me. I want it to stay in the spot that I placed it in. I am crawling through. I'm making sure my hand goes through every square and my foot goes through every square. And this is a great overall workout. Bear crawls are the best. That's why I included a lot of them, because they're a great overall workout. And I'm gonna again have about a 30-second rest, and I'm going to do my last set of bear crawls. And while doing this, I'm trying to push that band apart and keep my knees under myself. So the next exercise modality is agility ladder, lower body agility. This is foot quickness drills. So for set 1, I am doing in and out jumps with the ankle weights. So right now I'm putting on my ankle weight, I'm putting it right over my ankles, and I'm jumping in and out of each square, and I'm going to go back and have again about a 30-second break. At this point, I'm really feeling it in my quads. Pretty tired, but this is a great workout. With this, I want to make sure that my knees are strong. I have a strong base because there's a lot of weight on my ankles. So this is throwing off my center of gravity a little bit, but I need to use my core to try to keep myself upright. And then I can have another 30-second or so break in between each of these. And keeping the break pretty short also allows us to have a great aerobic portion of this exercise to see if we can keep up with that. Then I'm going to do my third and final set of this exercise, and then I'm going to take the ankle weights off, and they were pretty heavy ankle weights, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Then after this one, I am doing in and out jumps with the band around my knees. So with this, the same thing goes for the band where I want it to be placed. Like I said earlier, notice how spread out the band is. I don't want it to be scrunched up because I want that band to be distributed. The whole area where it was meant to be distributed, I want to use the size of that band to my advantage. And then I also don't want to be cutting off circulation, which is what it would be doing if it was rolled up. And so with this, I'm trying to push apart with my hips and thighs in order to be able to jump in and out of those squares. And then I'm going to walk back and have about another 30 seconds rest. And for all of these exercises, I did 3 sets. I don't think that they're too hard of exercises. I think that they're something that everyone can do. And then I'm going to go in, and with these, it's really important to try not to step on the ladder. I don't think I did with these. I don't think I stepped on the ladder, so good job for me. And my band is still in the same place I left it, which meant that I was pushing out the whole time, and I wasn't allowing slack on that band. So now for the third variation of the agility ladder lower body drill for foot quickness, I'm doing in and out jumps with squat. I think that this was my favorite exercise Nothing in this world is better than a squat exercise. So I'm gonna have a little break again. And then with this one, I'm jumping both feet into the square, jumping both feet out of the square at the same time while squatting. And this is a great exercise for my anything that works a squat. Great hip hinge, quad activation, hamstring when I'm pushing up. And also, this is great for speed. I could go a little bit faster, but guess I didn't have it in me. So this was my second set, and then I'm going to go on to my third set, my third and final set. This could also be done with a partner. You could race them to try to beat them because it's kind of no fun not going against anyone, so I'm not going as fast as I could. But maybe if I had a partner that started like 5 squares behind me, I didn't want to run into my partner, I could maybe go a little bit faster. And this was the last exercise in my exercise modality for in and out jumps. So my next exercise is double leg hops. So for my first one, I have jumps in every square. I'm just jumping in every single square, and this targets the gastrocnemius, the soleus. This is a great exercise for the calf. This is a great power exercise. You could use this in sports like football, soccer, high jump, track. This is just a great overall exercise that can be used in a lot of different sports settings. And for this one, I also did 3 sets. You could honestly do more if you wanted to, because this isn't too much of a taxing exercise, but it is really good for your smaller muscles. With this, you want to make sure you use your knees. You want to make sure you're not just straight leg jumping. And then after this one, for my double leg hops, I did a jump in every other square, and I made sure to land with soft knees and use my arms when jumping off. I probably could have been a little bit more exaggerated when I am jumping off with my arms, but that's okay. I am having about a 30-second rest again, and then I'll go into my second set once I catch my breath. I'm jumping into every other square now. I'm jumping into every other square, and that was my second one. And this is good if you need to have like a when you want to be more power based in a forward direction. That'd be great for doing every other square, while jumping in every square is more of a speed drill. But both of these are speed drills, just different focuses on what we're doing. And this is the every other one, and then that was my third set of that. Then for this exercise modality, I'm still using the agility. So I am jumping 2 squares forward and 1 square back. I thought that this was a really fun exercise. Not very good at it, but I'll get better if I do it more often, right? So I'm jumping over 2 squares and then 1 back, then finishing outside of the agility ladder. And also a great note in between each exercise, make sure your agility ladder is straight, because doing these, you can hit it and move it, but that's fine. Just make sure you move it back. So when you start your next set, it is perfect again for you, so you don't have to try to jump in a super small circle. And you can, for this, try to make sure you have a soft landing and you use your arms to try to take off. Jump two forward, one back, and then I'm going to go back and then have another 30-ish second rest. And I am making sure after every single set I'm fixing the hurdle. And this could also be great with the partner. Say you're halfway through the agility ladder, then your partner can start, so you are trying to go fast so that your partner doesn't catch up to you. Or you can have a whole separate agility ladder and have it next to them in case that's too much, and just compete side by side. But these are all just great speed drills. And then I'm going to jump back and then jump over to, and then that's that on that exercise modality. Then the next workout or exercise that I'm going to do is these hurdle drills. So this is the first exercise. This is lateral over the hurdle speed drills. These are great for speed and agility. So with these, I'm going over it sideways. So this is the first variation. My knees are bent. And I'm going to go all the way down, and then I'm going to come all the way back. And then I'll take about a couple of seconds rest in between because these are not too taxing on my body. And I'm going to do my last set right now. Whenever I'm doing these, I'm also engaging my arm so I don't fall over, so I don't hit the hurdle. Then I'm going to come all the way back, keeping my knee flexed, and I'm punching through the ground. So then the next speed drill that I'm doing is I'm going over with a straight knee. And this one I'm on the side of it just to make sure that my foot can also go over the hurdle. Maybe if you are using a different type of hurdle, you can be standing in the middle of it like how I was before. But these are really good exercise to keep my core engaged. And so you'll see when I go again, I'm also using my arms to try to make some sort of rhythm so I can try to do this as fast as possible. And I'm punching down through the ground. And yeah, you can see these got me pretty winded. They're a really good workout. If you want to get more reps in, you can go down and back on one side of the hurdle and then down and back on the other side of the hurdle. This is an exercise where two people can use the equipment at the same time, and that can be good if another person's using it on the opposite side of the hurdle as me. It's helping me to make sure I'm not going too far forward over the hurdle. And my third thing is double leg hops. This is lateral hops. So you can see I put the hurdles a little too close together, so as you go, it's important to adjust your parameters to however it should be going. And so I'm going to do multiple of these and I'm going to turn sides, but usually I would do more hurdles at one time, but I didn't have that many hurdles available to me. So now I'm doing hurdle sprints I did not have any real hurdles. I didn't have a lot. So I was pretending like these ticks on the football field was hurdles. So the first one is high knee with 1 foot in each area in between the hurdles. Um, so I'm only gonna have 1 foot in each hurdle. And again, I'm pretending that these lines are hurdles. Um, with this, I'm trying to make sure that my core is engaged. I'm trying to get my foot to, or my knee, to a 90-degree angle. I could have brought my foot a little bit higher to accomplish that. And then with these, I still am giving myself a 30-second rest. And I am doing my last set right now. And so that was it for the high knee 1 foot in sprints. So this is bounding, so I'm trying to skip a hurdle because I'm trying to bound myself forward. But I wasn't able to place the hurdles where I wanted to, so it's a little bit harder. But if you have real hurdles, it'll be a lot easier because you can adjust the space in between for your bounding. So I did one set of this, and then I'm gonna do another one. And for this, I would do 3 sets, and then have about 10 bounds in each set. And this was a great exercise for something that you want like to put in the beginning of your program. And I'm gonna do my last bound right now. So I'm trying to be off the ground as much as I can, but I'm pretty tired at this point. But this was my last set, and I'm engaging my arms and my core. Then, after the bounding sprints, I did 2 feet in sprints. So they were like the ones I did before with the 1 foot in, but now 2 feet are inside of each hurdle. And then I wait. If there were no hurdles in this, then it would be like quick feet drills. So another one, you see I'm trying to move my arms with my legs, so my legs move a little bit faster. And then again, I have my 30 seconds rest. But these are a very good exercise if you're trying to improve your foot quickness, because they're great for sprints. A great thing to do before sprints. And then I'm using my last 30 seconds to cool down, and then I'll do my last 2 feet in sprints. And this was the third set of my hurdle sprints. So then I'm finished with that. Now I'm going into upper body plyometrics. And so first I'm doing medicine ball throws. This is a great exercise. My medicine ball, this is the only one I had. But to make it harder, I would have a heavier medicine ball. Medicine ball throws are good for strengthening and toning and improving muscle power, improving endurance, to increase your stamina, and full body fitness. This is a great thing to do overall. I'd say you want to include medicine ball throws maybe 2 days a week in your strength program. And I did this 3 reps of this. But if I were to have a heavier medicine ball, it'd be a lot harder for me. But I didn't have one, so it's pretty easy. Um, Medicine ball throws are more effective than conventional strength training. Um, and this will help to improve throwing and swinging performance. So any sort of javelin thrower would be pretty good with this. Then I'm going to do medicine ball throws upwards. I'm going to throw it straight above my head and then try to catch it on the way down. And I'm trying to use my knees to slow the ball down, because if I had a bigger one, then it'd be a lot more weight. This is great to develop upper body strength, power, and elasticity through a variety of phases and throws. Throwing a medicine ball up and down or back and forth, and you can also do this with a partner, is very productive, and it's also just a fun activity. If I wanted to do this with a partner, I can just have my partner catch it in the air instead of myself, and we can just go back and forth. You could also do the first one I showed you with the partner as well, and it'd be pretty okay. So then, after that, I'm done with that. I'm going to do some backwards throws. This is a great exercise. So I'm walking to my medicine ball and I'm throwing it backwards. I begin holding it probably like in between my legs area. I squat down and then forcefully reverse direction. So I'm trying to put as much power into throwing this ball backwards as I can. If you want to do this with a partner, you can toss the ball over your head to your partner, and then your partner can roll it back to you, and you can repeat this in your desired amount of reps. I would say 3 sets of a minute would be best for this, because then you can compete and see how many of these you can do in 1 minute, because these can be done very fast or very slow. Instead of walking to the ball, I could run to the ball if I wanted to have a better phase of endurance training. Then that could be something that's good for me. So that was my last set of those. Now I'm going to do upper body plyometrics. Lower body plyometrics. So I'm doing clapping push-ups. This I cannot do a lot at one time, so I'd say maybe 1 set of 5. You start in a regular plank position, and you lower your body towards the ground, and then you try to lift your body as high off of the ground as you can, and you clap your hands together, and then you return to the starting position that you were at, and then you can wait about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you can start doing your second set of this. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to do a couple more. To be honest, I didn't think I'd be able to do this because I'm not very strong in my upper body, but I was surprising myself and I did it. So this is a great exercise. So then I did it having my hands elevated. I thought that this was a lot easier than having my hands straight on the ground, It gave me a lot more airtime, and I felt like this was much more beneficial for me and my training goals. So, this exercise is great in building the chest and the shoulders and the triceps. So, with this, my feet are shoulder width apart. I'm going to try to keep my butt down. I'm going to bend my elbows as much as I can and push off and try to clap in the middle. And this was a great exercise. And so yeah, I'm done with those. So now I am in my cool down segment. I am doing straight arm behind the back stretch. So with this, the muscles affected are my anterior deltoid and my pectoralis major. With this, I'm holding it for 1 minute, and then I'm going to swing out my arms to get them loose again, and then I'm going to hold it for another minute, so 2 minutes in total. And this is a great exercise for that type of stretch. This stretch stretches the shoulder joints, and you can do this standing. There's also a sitting version. It's the seated lean back, and it affects the same muscles, but this one affects more of the anterior deltoid rather than the full deltoid. So with this, I just finished doing a minute, so now I'm going to swing my arms out and try to get loose again. And I'm going to do another set of this. With this, I'm standing, placing both arms behind my back. I'm interlocking with palms facing each other. I'm straightening the elbows fully. I am slowly raising the arms, keeping my elbows straight for the entire duration of the stretch. And then I'm keeping my head upright and my neck relaxed so I can fully get the stretch. And then after my minute is up, I can just shake out and get on to the next stretch. So my next stretch, I'm gonna move back and try to explain it. This is the seated leg straddle, and so I'm just starting my timer to make sure I know when I should come back up. So the muscles affected doing this stretch is the erector spinae. This is stretching the low back from a seated position. I think that this is a very good stretch. It's not something that I have done often, but through reading the book, I found out about this stretch, and I've been doing it a lot more after my training sessions because I find that it just helps me reduce soreness, and it's a great stretch for my lower back. I haven't been able to find a lot of great stretches for my lower back. So yeah, I'm going to just continue to hold this for the 2 minutes. This first minute went down, so now I'm going to show you what it should look like from a side view, and then I'm going to start my second minute. With this, you sit with your knees flexed to a 30 to 50 degree. You let the legs totally relax. You point the knees outwards. The sides of the knees may or may not touch the floor. My knees do not touch the floor. You lean forward from the waist and reach forward with extended arm position. One note that bending the knees and relaxing the legs decreases hamstring involvement and increases your lower back stretch. So it just depends on what you're trying to stretch more. Either your hamstrings you can involve, or you can just specifically target your lower back. And for me, I wanted to specifically target my lower back, and I can just shake out, and then I'll move on to my next stretch, which is the supine knee flex stretch. This is my third stretch. And this is a great stretch for me. Again, I am doing 1 minute per leg. I feel like that's a pretty good amount of time. The muscles that this is affecting are my hip extensors, which are my gluteus maximus and my hamstring. With this, I'm leaning back with my leg straight. I am flexing I'm flexing my left knee, and I'm bringing my thigh towards my chest, and I'm actively pulling with my arm to try to pull my knee a little bit closer to my chest. And then I'm going to lay down for a sec and then switch knees. I'm doing the same thing that I was doing with my left one. I am lying on my back with my legs straight. I'm flexing my right knee now and hip, and I'm bringing my right leg towards my chest. I am placing both hands behind the thigh and continuing to pull towards the chest. And then I'll hold this for about another 30 seconds or so. And I think this is a great stretch because I just get to lie on my back. I can close my eyes during this and relax a little bit. And this is a great cool down exercise because it's not too taxing on your body, and it's something you just lay down and do. So then I'll move into my next cool down / final stretching. I'm just gonna set up my timer so I know. I am doing the side bend with straight arms. I am standing with my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to do this a minute per side. I am interlacing the fingers with my palms facing away from my torso and facing outwards. I am reaching upward with straight arms. I'm keeping the arms leaning from the waist to the right side. And then I'm also making sure that I'm not bending my knees, which is a really important part of this. I don't want to bend any part of my body. So then I'm going to shake it out, and then I'll do the same thing where I stand with my feet shoulder width apart. I'm interlacing my fingers with my palms facing away from the torso, being outward. I'm reaching up with straight arms, and I'm keeping the arms straight. I'm leaning at the waist to my left side, and I'm not bending my knees. This affects a couple muscles. The main muscles that it affects are the external obliques, the latissimus dorsi, and the serratus anterior. And I feel like this is a great stretch because those are muscles that are not often targeted with these stretches. So I think this is really good, a really effective stretch, and I'll probably try to do it more. So as I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to my next stretch, which is the side quad stretch. So this is stretching the anterior of the thigh and the hip flexor. So right now I'm doing my right side. So I'm lying on my left side with both legs straight. I am placing the forearm flat on the foot and the upper arm perpendicular to the floor. I am placing the forearm at a 45-degree angle to the torso. I have my flexed at the right knee or right leg with heel to the right foot moving towards the butt. So this whole time I am pulling my knee towards my butt to try to get more of a stretch. And then I will move over and switch sides. And with this, I'm going to continue to grab the front of the ankle with my hand and pull it towards my butt. There's a good note that this stretch occurs as a result of knee flexion and hip extension. So that's important just to know where your body's moving and where to pull and what's most important to target. And I feel like this is a good exercise too, along with the one we did previously, because you just get to lie and relax a little bit and not move around. I'm bringing my heart rate down, which is a great method to use when doing a cool down. And so this one I chose as my second to last stretch for my cool down or final stretching. So my last thing that I chose to do was butterfly. So in a second, whenever I'll actually start, I will stop moving my knees, and I will actually get started in it. And I will do this for about 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just trying to set my timer, make sure I'm doing it for the amount of time I want to do it for. The muscles affected in this are the hip adductors and the sartorius. So with this, I am sitting with the upper body nearly vertical and legs straight. I've flexed both knees, bringing the soles of the feet together. I'm pulling the feet towards my body actively. I am placing the hands on the feet and elbows on the legs. And I'm just pushing down through my elbows this whole entire time. I'm pulling my torso slightly forward as my elbows push down, causing hip adduction. And I thought that this was a great stretch to include in my workout, especially at the very end, because I feel like this stretches a lot of different things that you would want to be stretched the most. And it's relaxing because I don't have to move around for it. I can just sit and have a static stretch moment. And I'm just pushing down with my elbows and my forearm to try to keep my legs. And that is the end of my exercise program. Thank you so much for watching.